I grew up in a Christian home. My parents, very early on, told me all about Jesus and God and His love and the Bible and all that kind of thing. I was homeschooled growing up, and so most of my friends were either friends from church or my siblings. Very early on, I had a pretty good idea of what was right and what was wrong, and I knew that if I did something wrong, there would be consequences for it. So I made a point to not do what I knew I'd get in trouble for. I found a lot of self worth and pride that I always knew the right answer, but the motivation for behaving this way wasn't necessarily out of love for my parents or God for that matter. I was just doing it so I wouldn't get in trouble. But the trouble is, someone who has all the answers usually has something to hide. A few lies here and there became easy to slip in because my reputation preceded me. This was the case for me, and I found myself pretty confident in my ability to deceive others. When I got to high school, everything was going pretty smoothly. I had good grades, I had a girlfriend, everything seemed to be just fine. I was still behaving well, I knew all the right answers. On the inside, I was pretty nasty, but on the outside, everything looked pretty good. I was as perfect as I thought I could be, and I was still getting away with whatever I wanted because I was the good kid doing the good thing all the time. But as high school continued, as you might expect, my game of lies caught up with me, and I got caught in my own web of deception. My whole game of being a good kid was starting to fall apart. But my parents never stopped loving me and pointing me back to God for comfort. I'll never forget a night when my dad took me aside and read scripture to me and just explained to me how Christ loved me just as I am. I didn't need to try to be perfect for him. He was going to love me either way, and my parents were going to love me even if I was not perfect. And on top of that, I understood that no sin was too big or too secret to be forgiven by God. God would forgive me my sins and He would love me just as I was. Being a good person for the sake of looking into others was absolutely useless. I want to be a person that does good and serves others out of a real love for them and a real love for God, not just because it's the right thing to do. What love has done for me, it's taken me from being a pretender to being the real deal.